and welcome into Cullman in the Morning. I'm Debbie Wood, and our very special guest today representing Wallace State Community College is Dr. Melanie Glasscock. She is a veterinarian and has been for many, many years, and we're going to talk with her today about a little bit of about what she's been doing over the last 20 years, and also the fact that she teaches the poultry science class or program down at Wallace. And good morning to you.
Good morning.
I guess I really didn't realize that they even had a program like poultry science at Wallace. I think that's fabulous.
Yes, and that's why I'm here, because many people don't know, but we've had it now for about 7 years, and it's a partnership between Wallace and Auburn University.
Is it really?
Yes, it's a 2+2 partnership.
I knew Auburn was very big on
Yes.
poultry science. So many
Yes.
people from our community have attended. But let's talk a little bit about the fact that you're an Auburn graduate.
Of
You went to
course.
school there, undergraduate and veterinarian.
Yes, ma'am.
So how many years did you have to go?
That tells my age when I start talking years, but
That's okay.
I was at 7 years at Auburn and finished years ago, and I won't say how many, and disappointed, of course, in the ball game Saturday
wasn't
night,
it
but
so
you know, still
bad call, we think,
bad,
of course.
maybe, but
Or maybe the referees were just loving
Yeah.
Virginia. I
well,
don't
maybe.
know.
I just say I love them one way or the other.
I know, absolutely. They did a wonderful job. So 7 years there, and did you always know, in case someone's watching today, that you wanted to do veterinarian medicine?
Well, pretty much. I knew I love sciences. I love biology, and
Right.
then along with that, I love the farm life. I originally went to school thinking I was going to be a cow vet.
Did
And
you?
somehow that's not exactly how it worked out. As I went through vet school, I learned that I love the small animal. I could do so much more with medicine and surgery. That's where I spent most of my time
Right.
in full-time practice, was with small animal. Then when I had the opportunity to begin teaching at Wallace, and I was teaching biology, which was great. Worked right in, still practicing. And then a few years ago, Wallace gave me the opportunity to get involved with the poultry program, which I didn't know anything about chickens. I'll admit. I was like, I love to eat them, but
Yes.
other than that, didn't have a whole lot there.
So at Auburn, you didn't really learn a whole lot
Not a whole
about
lot.
small. Okay.
No, we could. There were some tracks you could have gone, but it wasn't at that time. Wasn't something in my radar that I picked up on. So
Right.
I've learned a lot in the last few years in doing this. I've worked closely, very closely, with the poultry science department at Auburn.
Have you? Okay.
Yes. Dr. Berry leads the intro to poultry science, and he pretty much talks in one ear, and I try to, glean from him, and
Sure.
done a lot of continuing ed in the last couple of years trying to get up to speeds. But it's an introductory class, what we do at Wallace.
Okay.
Gets them ready. They can do 2 years at Wallace, get their basics done, English, history, math, all that
Okay.
stuff, and take this introductory class in poultry science. So then when they go to Auburn, they're ready for the upper level classes.
Wonderful. So it just sort of transfers
It transfers
smoothly
right
then,
in.
I would think,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yes.
Now, of course, you're strong in biology. And tell us sort of what we're looking at here. I think this is neat.
Okay, so I just brought a skeleton with me. This is a skeleton of a chicken, because not many people see it put together like that. And we start in this poultry science class, we start with the basics of anatomy and physiology. How does the chicken work? How does he do his thing?
Right.
And then we'll progress through all the parts about raising the chickens, the health, the nutrition, genetics, and processing even. And of course, Cullman County, we have such a huge poultry industry in our county.
Yes.
That we're one of the top in the state and in the country in
Right.
production. So as I was sitting here waiting for this to start and watching the traffic go by, I see chicken truck, chicken truck, chicken truck.
Absolutely.
It's not just the live haul trucks, but the feed trucks, and you can tell the hatchery trucks going by.
It's big,
It's
isn't it?
huge in this county. So.
It really is. And across the country, benefits from our
Oh,
industry,
yes.
don't they? So much. So what do you hope? Of course, I'm sure that everything they take, like we said earlier, sort of helps them
Yes.
to transition. But when someone's going into poultry science, what do they hope to be able to accomplish in order to get what kind of jobs if you go into poultry science?
It's very broad.
Okay.
Some people say, well, I don't want to do poultry science because I don't want to work in a chicken house.
Sure.
It's like, well, okay, that's fine. But there's many, many jobs. There's everything from sales, like I said, the nutrition is huge,
Right.
working in genetics, the company. You can be in a button-down shirt job, or you could be in the boots on the ground job.
Okay.
Tremendous diversity. I tell my students, States. You can stay in Cullman. You can go to China.
Really?
They're international. It's been eye-opening. We go to went a couple of years ago to the International Poultry Exposition in Atlanta.
Okay.
And English was not the main language I heard. It's truly an international industry.
Okay.
Tremendous opportunities.
Okay.
We have some major players here located in Alabama.
Right.
And the kids, if they finish the program, they're going to have a job. It's 100% employment.
So it's not one of those where they have to wonder and worry about employment. So when you say a lot of other countries, especially China, are they coming over to learn how to raise and go back and teach their folks, or what is the purpose?
Just the companies are multinational, so we have Avigen. Avigen is a primary supplier of stock of the little baby chickens that are going to be the parents to the chickens that we end up eating.
Okay.
And when you don't realize all the layers, because I didn't know this either, but
sure.
They fly them out across the world,
and
they're
really?
located. The North American office is located here in Alabama, so you can do something like that. We have that. We have, of course, local companies, smaller companies that supply a tremendous amount of food. But Dr. Berry, one of the things he's told me is like if an individual ever raises a house full of chickens, they've provided more food than the majority of folks will ever do in their entire lifetime.
That's interesting.
I always think there's two things that we're always going to have. We're going to have food, and we're going to have medical care. So if you go in either one of those, hopefully there's going to be a job.
Have a job, aren't you? Yeah. Well, when you come out of poultry science with a degree in poultry science, are a lot of those folks doctors? Would you say doctor or PhD in poultry science?
Many will just have a bachelor's degree, and with that bachelor's 4-year degree, you've got a good job.
Okay.
And again, you can make of it what you want to make of it. And many will do field work, and that's great. Some will choose to go into other areas, but everything from the hatchery to the processing plant, the feed mills, there's opportunities everywhere.
Okay.
And so for our community, because we are such a strong poultry basis, that we've got great opportunity for these kids to go to Auburn and get a great job, and they're set.
And they're set. So you can go further in the poultry
yes, you can.
Science program.
Certainly.
Correct.
Oh, certainly.
And what would you be able to do if you did get a PhD or doctorate?
And that was, you might be doing research, or you might be at the, sure, there's tons of research. I mean, they are very, the chicken and the nutrition and all is down to the nth degree about what makes it the best product.
Right.
And of course, we hear a lot about things like, well, I want hormone-free chicken. It's like, well, it's all hormone-free, other than what the chicken naturally produces. There's none added already. So there's, and people have misconceptions.
Yes, we all.
It's all genetics. The genetics have been huge, so you can choose which area appeals to you and what you can do with it. But there's so many opportunities. And for the local folks, that's where I go, we've got scholarships.
That's great.
Most of the poultry students will have some degree of scholarship, and they can start at Wallace and transfer to Auburn and finish up and have a great job, and you're set.
Wonderful. Let's talk about the salaries for these folks upon graduating. Is it sort of medium or low and then go up, or do we have an idea?
Well, I would say probably most of them are going to be starting out at least in the 40s.
Okay.
Just with a bachelor's degree, and it may be much higher.
Sure.
That just depends on
what area?
What area, which company they go with. And that's the thing of the big companies that, of course, if you're willing to relocate a little bit, you move up the chain faster, but they get up 6-figure salaries pretty quickly in a number of areas.
Okay. I think that probably makes of course a big difference in sometimes in what field people are going to go into, but there again you've got to have that interest and that desire, don't you?
Yes.
And the ability to do biologies and love it.
And love it. But I've had students who are out 2 or 3 years that they come back and they won't give me an exact number, but it's like, they really pay me well. They pay me well.
Isn't that great? And they're proud that they did it.
They're proud that they're doing it.
So would you say of all your students that that you've had or that you currently have, most of those folks continued by going to Auburn and finishing? Majority of them do?
I don't know if I'd say the majority. We've have a number that take the class that want to do backyard chickens.
Oh,
they're looking at sustainable agriculture, the local farmers market, and they just want to take it for that. And it's like, that's great too. We certainly have a market for that.
And then maybe the ones that want to do it for to go into a the poultry industry themselves on their own property or whatever, they can do that with a 2-year or work for someone with just a 2-year degree?
Well, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
It gets
They
them
don't have to
their
necessarily-
foot in the door and gives them the background that they need.
Okay, wonderful. Well, how easy is it to get involved in the program?
Very
and sign
easy.
up?
Sign up,
Yeah.
get on the Wallace website or call Wallace and ask they will direct you to me, or
Right.
you can hop on the website and actually find the Poultry Science 2+2 program.
Okay.
2 years at Wallace, 2 years at Auburn.
It's awesome. 2 plus 2, so
Yes.
easy to remember. And you've got students, I'm sure, that are graduating the
Yes.
end of May or the
Yes.
middle of May,
Sure do.
and headed out. So we wish them the best. And thank you for joining us today. I think this
thank
is really
you.
neat. Anything significant that we need to know about this little guy this morning, other than it's pretty neat looking?
He's neat looking. He's a great source of nutrition for us and a good healthy product, and
Yeah.
certainly he's healthy for the economy of Cullman County and the state of Alabama.
It really is, isn't it? So we thank you for joining us today,
Yes, ma'am.
and I think you do a fabulous job. And Dr. Melanie Glasscock with us today, representing Wallace State Poultry Science Program, and hope you've enjoyed today. And if you're interested in becoming part of this program, all you have to do is go online or give them a call. They'd love to hear from you. And we hope you have a wonderful and blessed day.